Hello, my friend. I pray that this finds you well from wherever and whenever you're tuning in. It's early morning on Sunday, November the 2nd, 2025, and I was looking at a 365-day devotional that a friend of mine gifted me, and I was looking at the entry from yesterday because yesterday I didn't get a chance to look at it. And allow me to show that to you and read it to you even as I kind of get into the thought that I want to leave you with today. So here we go. So, November 1st, and it says joy. Those who look to Him for help will be radiant with joy. No shadow of shame will darken their faces. That's Psalms 34 and verses 5 from the New Living Translation. And it says that joy gives us strength to dance on the grave of shame and laugh in the face of death. It rises up and sustains us like a deep spring with unending water bubbling up to the surface. How do you sense joy strengthening you in your day-to-day rituals? The line that says that joy gives us the strength to dance on the grave of shame and laugh in the face of death resonated, and here is why. So yesterday was exactly 1 week, since my dad passed away. I received the news of his passing on the Saturday before at approximately 10:53 a.m. But this little devotional here says that joy allows us to laugh in the face of death. And in the last 1 week, I can honestly say that I've been having peace that transcends understanding. I've been having joy. Joy in gratitude. Being grateful for the amazing father that Dad was. Being grateful that I got to enjoy 72 years with him. Being grateful that even in his struggles, we saw God's grace. Being grateful that I know he's in the presence of the Lord and free from pain. Being grateful that I know that God is with us even in this season of mourning and will continue to be with us. I can honestly say I have peace and I have joy. And I understand that times will come when the sorrow will be very real and the grief will be very raw and the tears will flow. And even then, I know that the Lord will be with me. I'm being reminded even more than anything to choose to focus on what's good, right? I can focus on the fact that Dad is not with me, or I can focus on the 72 years that I got to be with him. I can focus on the pain that he went through the last few weeks, or I can focus on the pleasure that he's experiencing in the presence of the Lord right now. I come to find that good and bad are usually just flip sides of the same coin, and we can either choose to see a cup as being half full or being half empty. And so that's my encouragement to you today. One of the scriptures that really encourages me is found in the book of Hebrews, and I think it's in Hebrews 12. And it says that as we live this life, we are to run this race with endurance. Why run it with endurance? Because life can be tough sometimes. But that scripture says, looking up to Jesus, who is the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising its shame, and now he's seated at the right hand of the Father. In other words, that scripture says, as you live this life that's going to have challenges, the way you endure, the way you have resilience is by following the example of Jesus, looking up to Jesus. And then it tells us how Jesus did it. Who for the joy set before him endured the cross. In other words, when Jesus was hanging on the cross was real, the nails were real, the pain was real, but he set his focus on the joy set before him. So even when we are going through, we can choose to set our focus on what's right, on what's good, on God's love and grace. Even in your darkest storm, In the words that God told Paul, his grace is always sufficient. There's always a silver cloud, a silver lining in the cloud. God's presence is. In the book of Psalms 139, he says, even if I make my bed in hell, even there your presence will be. The point is, even when we are going through, God is in the midst, even of your storm. And if you will allow him to become the eye of the storm, right? The calm within the storm. If we set our minds on him, even when we are going through, then he gives us the grace to go through. And that's what I'm choosing to do in this season. And even in those stages of grief and mourning that come, that will be hard. Even then, I pray that God will give me the grace to find him, to find the eye of my storm. So that's it, my friend. In the words of the devotional today, may joy give you strength to dance on any grave of shame that's assaulting you lately, and to laugh in the face even of death. Blessings until next time.